all right. This the news. This the news. This is the news. Hope everybody's doing great, or at least trying to feel all right, considering the situation. As you know by now, Carmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder, and if you're watching, let us know how much time he's facing if you find out while we're over here having this discussion. I think it was expected, and I'm going to get into some of my thoughts. I feel like it was a bad situation, and I feel like it's a situation that Hunter Metcalf put himself in. He was the aggressor. He was had invaded another person's space, and so I think it's the wrong verdict. I don't think you're innocent when you're aggressive, when you're violent, and when you invade someone else's personal space. Um, Austin was 100% in the wrong and got himself unalived. Bullying. It was bullying. It was bullying, which should be bullying should be taken a lot more serious. Should be a much heavy. It should be serious charges for bullying, as we can see where it leads to is this bullying, it's bullying culture, and in a country where you're the dominant race, it's it's disgusting. You know, if you're in a country, if you're the dominant race and you're bullying, mm, it's just a bad look. It's a bad look for the country. It's something that's been going on since the country been founded. I mean, slavery was bullying, basically. All the racial problems in this country. You can't sit on the bus. You can't do this. Stacking the police, where the police is, mostly Europeans. That the police have been a part of bullying, right? And he said invading someone's tent, that was not his tent. I know you like to say it's his tent, but no, he's just another kid at the school. It's not his tent. He's not an authority. He's not a coach. He's not a teacher. So, no, he was out of line. That's not his tent. He's just a student. It's not his tent. It's not his school. It's not his property. He was out of line. You're kind of proving my point because you think it's his tent. You think it's the kid's tent. You really believe that. You believe it was the kid's tent. That's crazy. He thinks the kids at the school own the tent. Unbelievable. No, that's why you have teachers, coaches. You could go to a teacher and say, tell the teacher. I mean, I don't have no problem with what he said. He's proving my point. You understand? He says it's the kids. He says when you go to the school, one of the kids own the tent. you can't, you can't make, you can't make this up. It's not funny because the man lost his life, but he says it was Austin's tent. Now, if that's not crazy, The students have no right to tell the other students to leave anywhere. I'm not going to really, you've already proven that you are a little strange. So I'm not gonna waste too much time talking to you. You've already let me know your mentals where you're at mentally. So why would I waste my time? Well, if you send your children into those type of situations, I'm totally against it. Do not send your children somewhere where I would, don't send your children somewhere where they don't have where they could be bullied. I mean, I would say, if you're black, make sure there's at least 30% blacks at the school. Don't send you because I'm not saying whites are racist, but there's going to be racists there, and then the bully can bully the other kids, right? So the if he's a bully, he could bully the other white kids, right? So now they'll be too scared to stop him from bullying the black kid. He was a bully, and he had a twin brother. So you can imagine the type of bully. Uh, you can just imagine that he thought he ran everything because he was a big dude. Yes, he wasn't supposed to be at that school. He was too young to be surrounded in that type of hostile environment. Uh, at those type of schools, they bully each other. Look at look historically. Look at Cinderella. That was bullying. Just look at Cinderella. Uh, that was bullying. It's it's all on TV, on movies, on you can go all the way back and watch Leave It to Beaver. You can go back and watch early American TV shows. You can see that bullying is. Yeah, I know, Alexis. It's a lose period because the young man, uh, no matter what, Austin lost his life. So Austin took the biggest L already. It was already a loss for the Metcalf family, right? No matter what, uh, 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 Austin lost his life moving the wrong way. At the end of the day, he put himself in a position where he made people afraid of him. He made someone afraid of him, and it cost him his life. You know, when people become afraid of you, they'll hurt you. So both families are hurting, but the Metcalf family is hurting the worst. If you have to measure it, he's gone. There is no parole. It's over. Bad decisions. I have a responsibility to teach people that watch me and not to be emotional. And I'm just telling you all that Austin Metcalf made a horrible decision that will haunt his family forever. He made a horrible decision. He was a bully. It wasn't his responsibility to tell anyone anything, not as a student. That wasn't his responsibility. I had a little sister. Choose a year younger than me. And what do your parents tell you? If one of your siblings do something, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to tell your parents, right? That's how decent people are raised. You're supposed to tell an adult. You're supposed to tell a higher figure. If there's something between somebody your age and you're a kid, you're supposed to tell an adult. These are just facts. And so Austin, if he really felt that somebody was in there that wasn't supposed to be there, he's supposed to go to a coach or a teacher or a principal or some elder and say, listen, this guy is not right in that situation. And you said everybody should have known, including the parents that sent him there. Yeah, his parents shouldn't have sent him there. Do not send your black children into a racist environment and don't try to pretend like you don't know it's going to be racism there. It gets to the point you have to admit racism is what it is and it's going to be where it's going to be. Okay? America's built and founded on racism. Okay? Do stop sending your children into situations where they're going to be dominated, no matter what it is. Like, have to pay attention to your children. Even if you send your children to an all black school, if you send your daughter to an all black school, you have to kind of check on her to see if the other girls are bullying her. You have to do your investigation. Sometimes, as parents, you have to kind of spy on your child where the other kids don't know you're watching. When I would pick my children up from school, I would, if my child's walking out to school, I would look at the other kids to see if somebody's pointing at her, to see if somebody's laughing at her or mocking her behind her back. You know what I'm saying? So as my child is walking this way, I'm watching the children to see if somebody's paying my baby too much attention. You understand? I mean, it ain't no self defense if you send yourself in the if you send yourself in the lion's den. There's no self defense. He shouldn't have been at that school. Okay, the school is probably rampant with racism. Let's just be honest. That area is probably a bit racist. Racism is a fact of life in the United States. It's the revelation of an inferiority complex. And when people feel inferior, they want to pick on you. If the girl thinks you're prettier than her, right? If the boy thinks you're more handsome than him, or a girl like him that he like, and he got more friends there than you, what is he gonna do? And so a lot of this stuff is not racism; it's an inferiority complex. Because if you're the dominant white society, there could be nothing else but inferiority for you to pick on blacks. You would have to feel inferior. Like, why would you pick on a small group? Make it make some sense. Like, what could the small group do to you? What could that one black guy do at a full of whites? It's hardly no blacks there. What threat is he? Okay, don't stop sending your children into a hellhole. My parents took me out of public school and sent me to a Lutheran school in seventh and eighth grade, and there was definitely racism there, but there was some blacks there, and I was kind of had been outside a little bit, and I also had the ability to go back to my neighborhood and bring my friends up there if necessary. So if there would have been somebody up at that school that was going too far and all the other kids was backing them up, I would have just came up there with my back up and made them back up. But everybody wouldn't be like me. So imagine if I was a little more timid. My life could have been made miserable up there. They shouldn't have sent me up there with them people, them racist people like that. Because, in America, they pretend racism isn't real. You know that, right? America's good for pretending everything is all right. But America is plagued with racism and bigotry from the top to the bottom. From the head of the military down. Like May, I'm not trying to make a judgment, but Pete Hegseth, to me, seems to be possibly racist. To me, you can't, no, racists are not going to deal with racism. That's my point. You can't expect the wolf to protect the chickens. And you can't expect a group of people that have a racist, bigot problem to fix the problem. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to say this in the most intelligent way. America is plagued with racists. How are racists going to fix racism? How are how is a country that have a bunch of racists on the police department going to police racism? A lot of police are racist. America still has sundown towns, still today. He shouldn't have been up there at that school. And he should have been monitored by his parents. Is everything all right up there? And if he says, no, they bother me, pull him out. Pull him out. You sent him there for education and now he's going to prison. It just is what it is. I have people all the time tell me about moving from Chicago to their area. I look at you crazy. Like, where you live at? I live here. I'm like, yeah, okay. No, thank you. Even different racial hate, like Los Angeles. I wouldn't want to live in Los Angeles right now with the behavior of the Mexicans. The Mexicans have bought into racism heavy. Now, I'm not general. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying it becomes a plague. That's just like trying to ignore black on black crime. The black community has a problem on self hate. You can't ignore that just because you're black. Just because I'm black, I can't pretend that I don't know that blacks are victimizing blacks. And people use that to justify being, see what I'm saying? They'll use the black on black crime to justify being a low life themselves. I don't know how one low life justifies the other low life, but whatever. And then they'll generalize. They'll say, you black people, which gangs aren't you black people. Gangs are just the gangs. Just like Austin is not white people. Austin is Austin. He's not white people. Everybody in that area ain't like Austin. But when we're addressed, we're often categorized and stereotyped like you blacks, because there's a gang over there. They when in reality, if law enforcement is mostly white and there's gangs in the black community, some people could say that could be manipulated to be like that because you're not doing a good job because you're white. So some people could say that. Then maybe it'll help to get rid of white police officers and get our black police officers and stand on their neck to make them uh, patrol and control the black community and get everybody in order. And don't put them somewhere where, because if I'm a racist white judge and you bring a black person to me that hurt a black person, I might let him go. I might feel like he's doing me a favor. I might not feel like what he did is a big deal. It ain't a white person ain't hurt, so why should I care? Go ahead, wipe each other out. I'm just saying. So some people would say a heavy white justice system feeds all of this stuff. To me, I don't believe white Americans have what it takes to be judges and police. I think they have a racist problem within their race. I think a lot of white males have an inferiority complex, and and it shows as racism because you have to be inferior to just not like somebody that's just they black. Like you have to be inferior to be a black guy, a white guy, and come over here and start trolling. It's got to be. You have to feel inferior. Why would you? Why wouldn't you just go? Why would you troll us? You have to feel inferior. And when you go to school with Europeans and the numbers are even, white dudes back down. They not none of that. When it's the amount of if it's a black population, if you go to a school, as soon as it's 30 or 70 or 40, 60, white males stand down. They're only aggressive when they have the numbers, when they can bully. Soon as they don't got the numbers, they punk out. I've never been anywhere where the numbers was equal and seen a tough white dude. I never met a racist say anything to a black person when the numbers are even. They either have to be a police officer where they got the gun and authority to do it, or they have to outnumber you. You take 50 white dudes and 50 black dudes, racism disappears. That's a fact. I mean, I say, you say he was wrong. I say his parents was wrong for sending him into a racist situation. I say anybody with any real sense would know that he was probably mentally disturbed from constant bullying. He was probably a total victim of bullying all the time and was a little bit out of his mind, was fed up with it. That's what an intelligent person with a real analyst would say. He was a total victim of bullying and he wasn't in his right mind. He was fed up. And somebody also say those twins were obviously bullies. Those twins were obviously, right? Those twin boys were obviously bullies. I tell the story all the time when I went to camp and how the one white dude bullied the other white dude. Like he picked and he just bullied him. And I told him to leave him alone. And I kind of became the leader. I was the only black person there because if you're listen, a lot of white dudes is honest. If white people tell you, even in the school that's all white, they have to deal with bullying a lot. You understand? Yeah, if I'm going to a school and it's a whole bunch of whites and I could get jumped, I probably would have a knife. But I don't think you're realistic. So I can't really talk to you because you seem to be unrealistic, and you seem to take and you don't want to take into account that he was highly outnumbered and might have had serious problems. They didn't take into account that four people ran up on him. That was four people. So when they say what he got a knife for, my question is why did it take four of y'all? He had a knife because four of y'all ran up on him, right? If four dudes come to me and say, get out the tent, is that not a situation where I might bring a knife up there because it's four of y'all and it's just me? I'm just saying. I mean, that situation sounds like it's a situation that would make a person bring a weapon. I mean, honestly speaking, if four white dudes approach you and tell you, get out of our tent, that seems like a situation where you might have to have a weapon because you're outnumbered. I mean, if you feel somebody's out of line and trolling, then y'all do you do. Mods do what you do. Yeah, they don't. They do what you do. Every dog has a day and got to figure it out. And at the end of the day, Austin unfortunately lost his life from bad parenting, and he lost his life. I'm very much aware that Carmelo is going to prison, but I'm also aware that young Austin didn't have a chance. That he wasn't raised correctly. He was around a bad environment. He didn't have good guidance, and he lost his life. The Metcalf family lost the most. He's gone. Not 5 years, not 20 years, forever. He got a life sentence. He got a death sentence. So at the end of the day, I'm very sensitive to the Metcalf situation. The father did not do a good job with his son, and he lost him. They lost their son. They could cheer over the verdict or whatever. But at the end of the day, the father and the brother knows they were bullying, and it was a bad decision that the father and the twin brother got to live with for the rest of their life. And let's just be honest. Let's not overlook what the Metcalf family lost. They made a bad decision, a bad parenting decision. And any father and anybody know I'm telling the truth. If I got two sons and they twins, I know my sons. And I'm going to tell my sons, just because it's two of y'all, don't y'all be up at that school picking on them kids. You understand? Because Austin was a big dude. They're with his twin brother. And Austin have been bullying white kids. That's a fact. I don't even have to know. I don't have to have no proof. I know for a fact that Austin and Hunter were bullying white kids too. It's a fact. All since they was little. Second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. They've been bullying. That's a fact. And nobody never put them in line. The father thought it was cute. My boys, my boys. Now you gotta say my boy. Bad parenting. The school should be sued. Uh, Anthony's parents can sue the school. The school is liable. because the school allowed the students to pretend to be teachers. And from the time they told them you got to leave the tent and there was no authority there to make sure that don't happen, that's a lawsuit because you didn't protect my son up at this school. You didn't protect my son. The coach needs to be fired forever. The school is marked as a murder scene. The school will go down in history as racist. The student body, a lot of decent whites will definitely pull their children out of that school, will not want their children associated with that school. The school is basically cursed. I wouldn't just chalk it up like that, but people nowadays, the school is a racist school. The community is a racist community from here on out. The school is going to be. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the image of the school, and so a lot of people are going to leave. A lot of people are not going to. A lot of people don't want all that. A lot of people is not going to want their child to have that on their school record that they went there. Oh no, you're not graduating from here. Pull him out while he's a freshman. I'm just telling you, the school is forever cursed. It is what it is. Me, I'm not going to get emotional involved in it because I blame Carmelo's parents. Stop sending your kids into a place where they could be dominated and bullied. You black, his parents know damn well that boy gonna get bullied. This whole thing with black Americans thinking, or black foreigners, or whatever kind of black they was, that things are gonna be better if they white, and sending your kids somewhere where they could be dominated. That's got to go. And if you say, well, the black schools ain't this, then go fix the black schools while you send us. Go fix it then. Go fix your own schools. Go fix your schools. If you send your kid up to the school and there's gangs up at the school, take your black ass up there to the school and take the police up there and get at the teachers and get the goddamn gangs out the school. Go fix your own neighborhoods and stay away. Because it's a mentality blacks got. Here in Chicago, even black immigrants, when black immigrants come, they go live up where the whites at. They think it's better. They leave all black Jamaica, right? And come here and turn to a coon, turn to a Sambo. Straight up. Because black people all over the world think that everybody's better than them. You've been totally brainwashed. That's the higher education. Because the TV and everything promotes that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Why would you send her into a place? Yeah, they already know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? You already know what's going on. You already know that there's inferiority complex and extreme hate there, like that. Not to mention, when a race have a bad experience with you, they're going to kind of take it racist. So if you got black crime and whites be victims of black crime, right? They're not going to have the capacity to think, well, that's that person. So they're going to be like, these black guys robbed me. These black guys did that. And then because they're not really around blacks, they're going to generalize. You understand? They're going to generalize. And so if you, no matter how many decent blacks you have on TV, if you got rappers on there doing what they do, they're going to pick the rapper to generalize you as the rapper. It's just how people twist things up and mess things up. And so right now, the thing with me is, everybody's talking about everything, but the young man lost his life. And there's a lot of whites that's trying to act like this a victory, right? There's a lot of blacks acting like this a loss. But the biggest loss is Austin was misled, raised with some racism and bullying, and lost his life as a little kid where he wasn't guided right. Austin wasn't raised right. I feel sorry for Austin. Young like that, out there crazy like that. That's a result of his community and the parenting. His community, Austin community, failed him. Karmelo's still alive. Austin is gone. Let that sink in. See, a lot of black, you know what I'm saying? I know psychology. I know psychiatry. And I know no matter how many whites is happy about the verdict and all that, I know one person that's basically an empty shell, and that's Austin's mother. Austin's mother ain't with none of this shit right now. She ain't with it. Her and the father ain't the same. That daddy ain't carry no baby. That woman, that her Austin daddy, he lost his wife. His wife was gone. His wife is gone. As somebody that been with a woman that lost her child. That's who I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Austin's mama. Man, I feel sorry for that lady. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I feel sorry for that lady. Cause she don't give a damn about race or none of that shit. Not right now. She lost her baby. See, she don't see that Austin. Every time she look at him, she see the baby one. See, I know psychology. She don't see the big boy Austin. Every time she look at him, she only see the baby. That's all she see. She never seen a high school one like that. Every time she deal with him, she think about how he grown from that baby. That's the whole thing from inside of her. She had two babies in her. She remember which one came out first and second and all that. So her pain for losing that child and her pain for the twin, cause she the only one know what the twin going through. The daddy don't know what the twin going through. The only one know what the twin is going through is the mama. The mama lost two kids. She lost Austin and Hunter. Hunter would never be the same. Hunter will never be the same. Never. He ain't lost his brother. His bro. Because a bunch of white adults allowed them kids to be racist. All them coaches and teachers and shit, they know it's a bunch of racism up there. We ain't stupid. Nah, he ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hunter ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hunter's finished. Hunter's gonna blame Hunter for not stopping his brother from going over there. If you know anything about psychology, Hunter's gonna blame himself because the fact is that his brother should have never went and gotten that boy face. There's no way none of them can get around that. If Hunter would have been, if Austin would have been sitting his ass down where he was supposed to have been sitting down and minding his business, he would still been here. Austin thought he was a boss of somebody. He trying to be the boss of the other children the same age. He trying to bully the black guy and lost his life. And everybody know it. Everybody know that Austin threw his life away. That's what he did. Because he put himself in that situation. Carmelo Anthony's guilty because his mama sent him up there to get bullied and he had mental problems. And he went up there and he cut somebody. He's guilty because yes, he's guilty. He's guilty because his parents took him in a white racist area where it's a bunch of racists, not all racists. And whatever he do, he gonna be guilty. So for y'all to think he was gonna get innocent, you're crazy. He had a white racist area with a bunch of racists. I can't say everybody. And he didn't hurt a white person. He guilty. What you think he is? I know what you think he should be, but you're not thinking like the United States. In the United States, he's guilty. And at one time, they would have been hung him already. At one time in this country, they would have strung him up that day. At one time in this country, they would have put a rope around his neck. So it depends on if you know where you at or not. Now I know some people gonna be singing Lou Rawls. If I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I'm the realest alive. I'm gonna keep it a billion. They should have never sent that boy up there. He shouldn't have been up there. Stop sending your kids into racism, thinking because your black ass ain't got to go deal with it. So you sent your baby up in there to deal with that racism. Stop sending these black kids in racist stuff like you stupid, like you don't know. You send your little black girl up there surrounded by whites. That's straight bully. You're going to get bullied. Duh. You ain't going to have no help, nobody to stand on your side like that. Let's take a break. mean, a lot of black people, how you expect whites, some racist whites, to check themselves and and realize they racism is wrong when you don't realize they racist and you send your baby into a racist situation. It's like I went to Lutheran school in seventh and eighth grade, and there was some racism there. But I was like one of the later blacks came, so it was already calmed down a lot. Then in 1972, I went to the Lutheran high school, and they was not strong enough to be real racist with me, but the upperclassmen experienced it, right? So the upperclassmen, the first blacks that went there, it was horrible for them. I happened to be the one calm when there's more and more and more blacks and all that calmed down, right? But you got to look at the situation and see, are you sending your children, are they going to be one of the early ones in the racist situation? Because they're going to catch hell. When you done went up here and sent your baby up in here and it ain't a black person nowhere. Now we got to question you. You understand? We got to question you. He say Karmelo didn't have no home training when he was sitting down and a white dude told him to get out the tent. Okay. Now, this is the perfect example. Now, y'all think I'm gonna talk to this person? I already know what this person is. This is proof right here. You think I would argue with him? He's showing me right there what he is. Why would I expect him to be decent? He proved it right there. You think I would have a conversation? He didn't show me what he on. Why would I be tripping over him being ridiculous? He didn't show me he ridiculous, okay? Why would I waste any time? And why would I send my kids around him? This way, you know what I'm saying? Wherever school him and his kids at, it ain't the school I'm sending my baby. Let him keep his school. It's I'm not dealing with that. Even when I travel and I drive across the country, I make sure I'm at a certain location before I make sure I'm at a certain location, or I make sure I got a certain amount of gas where I ain't got to be pulling over in the middle of the night. I remember one time we used to be doing these tours with the rap group. I was the CEO of the record label. And when I used to pull up and get gas at some of these gas stations in the middle of America, in the middle of nowhere, I was like, okay, when I go in here and order this gas, by the time I get this gas in this car, y'all be in this car, let's go. We can't sit still out here. Now, one of the brothers was a little overweight. So every time we go to the gas station, he act like he at the mall or something. He in there doing full-fledged shopping. And he would be getting on my nerves because I'm like, grab whatever you're going to grab and get your ass in the car and let's go. So one time, I got the gas and I go in there and tell him, come on, man, let's go. Because when we on the road, nobody can really see us, right? And I know how to keep the car where I'm not next to nobody looking all in the car. I know how to keep my distance from, police or whatever, in case it's a racist cop. We get in the car. When you know how you leave out on the highway, you leave, and then you get to the big turn to get back on the freeway. While we get on the turn to get on the freeway, I see a police getting off. What a coincidence. At that particular age. That's because they called him. And that might be one of their brothers. Bobby Joe, we got some N-words in here. See, I seen them getting on. I'm getting off. When I hit the freeway, I did like 90 to separate the distance in case he tried to get back on and find us. He wasn't going to find me. I was gone. And he wasn't going to know which way we go. He don't know if we went back that way. He don't know. But I'm just a coincidence because these dudes don't know what they had playing around out here, knowing that there's just a lot of races out here. And then you go from one extreme to another. You can't say everybody white's not a doggone racist. But what white America don't want to admit is they got racists in powerful places and high government places and police departments and stuff. And so their system is racist because a lot of the people that dominate that white system is racist. Got more authority than them. So if you're a good person, a good white person, that's cool. But there's people got authority. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you're on the internet, don't be arguing with racists on the internet. Just block them. You wasting your time. Because they know you right already. They just hate you regardless. You can't make no point with nobody that hates you. How I'm going to have a conversation when you just hate me because of the color of my skin and you slow and you ain't no decent human being? Why would I argue with you? How I'm going to get you to see it my way when you're not decent? You're dark. Okay? You're not a decent human being. You are a bigot. You are a racist. You are a hateful person. Why would I don't want to talk, I don't want to debate you. I would never come around you. I would never talk to you. If I went to school with you, I would never be around you. And you wouldn't play with me. Because I'm not Karmelo. I would have been got all that straight. But I wouldn't have had no chance because I'm surrounded like 2% of us and 98% of them. So at that point, my mama wrong. Why would you send me in here while I'm 2% against 98%? Stop sending your kids where they could be bullied and dominated. And also go check. I don't care if they go to all black school. Go check. It's bullying everywhere. You're supposed to be asking your children, is anybody at that school bothering you? You're supposed to be looking at the other kids. Are they laughing at your kid and all that? I remember one time my daughter, she went to the living room. She came out the door. There's a boy by the door. He said something. And she got the car. I said, he said, boy, right there, what'd he say to you? She said, he didn't say nothing. I said, what'd he say? She said, he didn't say nothing, Daddy. She thought I was tripping. Now, I kind of believed her, but not really. So the next time I seen them, before she came out to school, I pushed up on them. So I hope they talk crazy to my daughter up here. One time I had a boy, he liked my daughter, and I didn't want him to be with her because he was a dummy, right? And if my daughter fall in love with a dummy, she gonna stop doing her work. She gonna fall his level. So I called his mother and told her mother, I don't want your son with my daughter. The mother said, you can't tell him who to be with or whatever. I said, I'm telling you. So she said, well, my husband, I said, well, when your husband get there, have him call me. I want to holler at him. And I told her, if I see your son around my daughter again, I'm coming over there. Me and a few friends. Then I found out her work number and I called her work number and her voicemail came in the office. And I said, tell Miss So-and-so to keep her dumbass boy away from my daughter. Tell her keep, yeah. And he went away. He disappeared. It was magically delicious, like Lucky Charms. He went away. Why? Because I seen early he wasn't good for my daughter. He was a bad influence. So this ain't got nothing to do with just black and white. You have to protect your children. The thing about Austin is, I ain't really finna rag on Austin because Austin lost his life. So I don't got no beef with Austin. You know what I'm saying? I got sympathy for Austin and Austin mother. The daddy is a loser, but I feel bad for Austin. I feel bad for Carmelo. Carmelo and Austin both took L's. They both took an L, and the one that was most responsible took the worst L. What do you want to do? They both took L's. A lot of people say it was Austin's fault. Austin took the worst L, right? Okay, then case closed. Yeah, it's sad for Carmelo, but Carmelo doing better than Austin. Carmelo's doing better than Austin by far. Austin ain't doing at all. He's gone. He threw his life away. So I really couldn't come over here and trash Austin like that. You know, he's a kid. You know, white America raised their little kids. If you raise your kids wrong, black America, if you raise your kids wrong and something happened, that's your fault as parents and adults. His parents didn't teach Austin how to have no hospitality, no decency or nothing. He wasn't decent. He was nothing. He had no decency at all. He had no hospitality. You see this a black kid, you see it's mostly white. Why you ain't trying to be his friend? Why you ain't trying to look out for him? You understand? They didn't teach that boy nothing. They ain't teach him nothing. They failed Austin. His daddy. The daddy, that's the daddy. That's the daddy. The daddy failed his sons. It's just that simple. And now he lost one of them. He got to deal with it. When the smoke clear and all the hoopla clear, you know, Austin ain't they gonna wake up, Austin ain't gonna be there in the house. Next week, next month, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, 60 years. No more Austin. They gotta live with it. Why? Because they let him be a rude asshole. They didn't teach him no discipline. No, and then they got the nerve to go to church. Got the nerve to go to church and be talking about God and righteousness and love. Got the nerve to go to church talking about Jesus, who wouldn't have never mistreated Carmelo. Got the nerve. Racists always going to church talking about God. Ain't got nothing godly bone in their body. It's nothing Christ-like about you. I wouldn't say the world is better off without Austin. I wouldn't say nothing cruel like that about no kid. I don't have no problem with Austin. Austin was a kid. When there's a kid out of line, that's the parents' fault. He don't raise himself. So I'm not going to disrespect Austin. Austin is a victim of his daddy. He can't be what his daddy don't make him be. His daddy failed him. I ain't really for coming down on kids. So I ain't really for coming down on the Metcalf boys like that. So I'm saying I ain't really for coming down on teenagers and kids because they victims of adults. Austin is a victim of the adults. Racism is taught. That just was a boy, a young boy that got misled, lost his life listening to some hateful goofies. That's how I look at it. I feel like Carmelo and Austin took an L. And I feel like Carmelo took an L because of Austin. And Austin took an L because of the daddy. So the daddy is behind the problem with Austin and Carmelo. All this goes to Austin daddy. See, when you in the family, the buck stops with the leader of the family. So the buck stop with the Metcalf daddy. The Metcalf daddy hurt both of them young boys because he wasn't no kind of daddy. He didn't teach his son nothing. He probably was doing saying all type of stuff in front of that boy and messed that boy whole life up. And he got to live with it. I'll tell him to his face. You the one behind this. You the man of the house. You ain't had no control of your sons. And now you lost one of them. Because that's what happened. If I got a son, he running around gangbanging, I don't stand on his neck and try to get him to stop. And then he gets shot out there, go to prison, it's my fault. But if I stood on his neck and stood on his neck and stood on his neck and he still did it and he get hurt, at least I could say, I told him, I tried to change him. At least I could say that. But when it comes to racism up at the school, no, you did not try. That's easy to stop. That's easy to stop. Tell your son, don't let me find out you up at that school doing none of that. The daddy failed both of them boys. Listen, I'm telling you the fact. The Metcalf father failed them two boys. Facts. He's the reason. It's all that's his fault. All that the dad is the daddy's fault. I ain't finna blame no little shorty out here tripping like that. Like shorty, like Austin. I ain't really. I feel sorry for Austin. Austin is a shorty. Come on, man. Come on. Austin's not responsible for his behavior in no damn high school. You know what I'm saying? We don't grow up till we get goddamn it 28. But we be halfway decent at around 21. We don't be smart. Like I wasn't smart at 18. Like real talk, 18, 19, I was still dumb as a rock. I wasn't ready to really come on, man. When I was 18 and 19, the only thing was keeping me on track was everything my daddy had told me. I was living off of his words. I was too stupid to have some words. Now, what you telling me is you slow and you ain't listening to what I'm saying. That's what you telling me. You telling me that you all in your feelings, even though I'm breaking it down on some intellect. You all on your feelings, typing in gigantic words, but you ain't gonna do shit about it on the revolutionary side. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. If you just want to keep it gangster, you want to go that way. You want to go the strong way. The strong way is you ain't gonna do shit, but tight. That's the way you want to go. Because I'm trying to go the intellectual way. You want to go the strong way? The strong way is you ain't going to do a goddamn thing. But tight. Take your ass down there and do something then. If you want to keep it gangster, y'all want to go that way? I'm trying not to go the hard way. You ain't going to do nothing but tight. So stop, okay? Stop with the typing. Okay, the Asians and the whites sided with white supremacy. Okay, and did the mama side with white supremacy when she sent her kid to that school? When she sent her baby in there with them, did the mama And the parent did Carmelo's parents side with white supremacy when they sent their kid to this great school that they thought was so great? Did they? Yeah, I'm just saying. Did the parents side with white supremacy when they sent their kid up there where ain't no damn black kids but him? No, it wasn't. It was a predominantly white school in the area is predominantly white. That's a fact. So you don't even know what you're talking about. But y'all tell them that school didn't hardly have no blacks up there. He think 8 blacks is blacks in the whole school. The whole damn city is white. But what is you talking about? Look, they say blacks. They say blacks went there because if it's 8 blacks, they say blacks. If it's 500 whites and it's 20 blacks there, they're gonna say blacks went there. Like you say, I didn't say they didn't have no black kids. I said the black kids was a teeny pinch. What's the percentage? Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage of blacks. I'm gonna take a break. Give me a percentage. Listen, this is what you do, big man. Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. That's all I could do with is a percentage. Give me a percentage. If you can't give me a percentage, you don't know what you're talking about. Give me a percentage. What's the percentage of blacks at the school? Other than that, shut up, talk to me. Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. We're going to do this like real intelligent people. Give me a percentage. Don't tell me it was blacks there. Give me a percentage. Look, man, I don't want to debate no lanes, okay? On God. Because if it's a percentages of us up there, would we let them push up on him like that? Listen, if there's a nice percentage of blacks up there, we'll let them push up on him like that. It wouldn't have just been 4 dudes in front of him. It would have been 4 dudes around them too. We would have got up too. So the fact no blacks didn't get up, that means there wasn't no blacks there. Stop talking to me. A lot of y'all nerds or whatever, y'all ain't like that. Okay? Listen, man, shut up talking to me. This call Pharaoh said, they ain't call you said nothing. Okay, 8.2% black, right? So 93% white. Listen, 90, right? 92% white, 8% black. That mean ain't no blacks up there. That mean 9 out of 100. That's no blacks. That means 9 out of 100. Checkmate. Thanks for that information. 9 out of 100 is not blacks. That means it was one way over there and one way over there. And if it's track, and if it's 9 blacks and only 2 in track, how many gonna be at the track meet? None. I rest my case. Okay? That means none. Because that 9 is not gonna be at the track meet. So that means he was a black dude. Okay, 50% white, 26% Asian, and 11% Hispanic, which means the whites dominate because the Asians is going to kiss ass, and so is the Hispanics. They're going to do whatever the whites tell them to do because they're going to use their light skin, and you know how that go. Don't even make me go there. Okay? But then when we talking track, right? When we talking track, it ain't gonna be no blacks. It ain't gonna be no no whole lot of people at the track. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be listen, man. Listen, talk to me some other time. You know what I'm saying? Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Yeah, come back tomorrow. There wasn't no black people there like that. Not in no damn track meet like that. Anybody, that whole area is predominantly white, okay? Anybody with any sense know that. And the whole damn jury was white. It wasn't a black person on the jury nowhere. Ain't no black people over there. You could tell. If it was black people up there, them boys wouldn't have been acting like that. If it's more black males up there, y'all think them boys up there acting like that? See, let me tell you something. Let me break down what they tell y'all with that, with the race. Okay, I went to Lutheran schools, like Luther South, right? So because I was cool and all that, I was hanging around a lot of white dudes. And so, like if I went to a party, right? When I go to the party, right? Like I went to a party and it was all whites. And there was a black dude there. But the black dude was there. He was one of these black people that act white, right? So he was a suck up type black, right? I was black. So I was really the only black person at the party because the other black dude wasn't really black. He was a suck up, right? Facts. But it's only two of us at this whole party. So if something happened to me, you can't look at him and say, it was black there. See what I'm saying? It's a fact. These are real facts. This is really me. Because listen, when you go to these predominantly white schools, the blacks that be going there, they be beat down already. They don't have no soul left. They cower down. You understand? Facts. They cower down. You understand? They cower down. Right? That's what they do. They cower down. This is what they do. So they don't, so when you say other blacks, not really. They've already been beat down. So when you come in as a freshman at a predominantly white school, them sophomore, juniors, and seniors, they already slaves. That's a fact. Listen, one thing about over here, you don't run over here. I don't even gotta talk to you. I don't gotta talk to you. I don't care nothing about internet. I don't care nothing about internet insults and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about that. Just leave it on the internet. That's all. You know how it is. You're going to stay on the internet with that. You know what I'm saying? So they be already, so it'd be like, let's say it's all white school. And then you get three blacks there. and then you get that. It's going to take 8 classes, right? It's going to take 8 classes before the racism be gone. It's going to take about 8 classes. So people like me, when we come into these schools like that, and when the schools start to get more blacks, we hear all the racist stories back, like when we was in grade school, how they used to beat up the blacks, because it changes over, like few more, few more, few more, few more, and until it gets about 30% black, the school be racist as hell. And if you in this internet, you can't tell me shit. Until the school get like 30% black, it's super racist. It's super racist until there's enough blacks to fight. If there's not enough blacks to fight it out, squabble it out, it's school gonna be racist. Period. I'm not listening to no goofy over here that don't know what the hell they talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I was born in 1958. You a baby. Fact. State your birthday if you want to argue. I was born in 1958. My parents was a part of the Great Migration. We had to be at a hotel before about 4 in the evening. They had sundown towns and all that. Black people couldn't ride on the bus. I was born. You was born in 1976. When I graduated high school, you don't know nothing. Because if you're born in 1976, then you don't know nothing until 86, 88. You don't know nothing until 1990 because you're a baby. So if you're born in 1976, you don't know shit. You don't know nothing until 86, you're 10 years old. So if you learned it 1986 before you knew anything. I was born in 1958. I didn't know nothing until 68. Because when you're 2, 3, 4 years old, you don't know shit. So whatever year you born, you don't know nothing until 10 years later. So if you was born in 76, you didn't know nothing until 86. And 86, I was 30. So you not on my level. When you was 10 years old, I was 30. You don't know nothing. You ain't seen the riots in Chicago. You barely seen the Rodney King riots. You was a baby. Stay in a baby's place. It's big fella. Ugh. I'm 68 years old. How old is you? You don't know nothing about no racism, for sure. You don't know nothing about no racism. What you know about racism? What you know about the riots when they killed? What you know about the riots when they off MLK? Which black generation was what they would call responsible for white flight? Man, I'm the generation where whites moved. That's a fact. I'm the generation that when the blacks migrated up here and went to neighborhoods, white moved. White flight is my generation. Facts. And we had to deal with, I had to deal with racism when I was like 10. I remember I had went up to, like we live here and then over here is West Pullman and then it's the whites over there and then it's a store right here. And I went to the store and the Metcalf sons, right? A big brother and a little brother came up to me and the little brother said, "What will you do if I spit it on you?" And I told him, "I'm gonna beat your ass," and they left. And when we used to ride our bikes, we on 116th, we ride our bikes. 119th was the split. And when you go 119, 120 something, but see, there was a big hill down there, 120 something, called Peel Hill, where we used to, where you take your bike up. So when we used to ride there, they used to chase us home. And when we get to 119th Street, they'll stop because that's the black. It's black there. I went to Zion Lutheran School out of public school. I went to Zion Lutheran School with greasers and shit, like Happy Days. Yeah. But I ain't have to do that much fighting because my OGs did a lot of it. Yeah, I got a better education. I definitely, we definitely got a better education because school then didn't play. And school, they taught you everything. And school then, you only went to high school. You didn't go to college. So yeah, I got a better education because then you only went to high school and jobs trained you on the job training. Any job on the job. I came straight out of high school. I worked for a stock market. I worked at a stock exchange. And I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department. I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department when I was a kid. I was young. I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department. You know what I'm saying? But anytime a black person don't listen to nobody 68 that was born in 1958 about racism, you know they stupid because you don't gonna get no opportunity on this social media to talk to nobody my age. And my social media skills is better than you young people. So I ain't just anybody because my YouTube is popping. I do all this myself. So I got more technical skills than you young dudes over here. Don't get it twisted. And I run a record label and I deal with rappers, right? You understand what I'm saying? And I seen it. So anytime somebody born, yeah, I'm from the Happy Day. Anytime somebody born that actually seen it. My parents born in the 30s from Alabama. My mom and daddy from Alabama. Okay. Peel Hill is right over there. No, that's another place. That was no, the Peel Hill you talking about is over there in Beverly. This was not a neighborhood Peel. It was a hill we call Peel Hill. It was in the forest reserve, and you could ride your bike up and then go real fast down. Because Chicago got a lot of forest reserves. So when you pass under 27th Street, when you pass under 19th Street and keep going, you get down by 127th Street. There's the graveyard, and then there was a big forest. No, I'm talking about a hill called Peel Hill, not a neighborhood. You understand? Used to be on the job training, but I'm saying my OGs, right? I'm 10. When I'm 10, the boys, okay, when I'm 12, the boys 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, those are the ones that fought racism. The boys older than me, they did all the fighting. They was the ones getting chased home from school and stuff. The boys, I'm born in 58. The boys that made it where you could walk around Chicago was born in 56, 55, 54, 53, and 52. Those are ones that did all of the fighting going to school. So by the time I got old enough to go to school, things was already established. Leave us alone. My generation ain't the one that fought for y'all to walk around Chicago. I'm born in 58. The generation that fought for you black people to walk around was the young black men born in 56, 55, 54, 53, and 52. Those was the knuckles up. They wasn't MLK. They wasn't doing MLK. They was doing Malcolm X and Black Panther. They had already unalived MLK. So it was like the hell with peace. No peace with the beast. My mom and them MLK. My OGs wasn't no MLK. They was BYA. My OGs were MLK, they was BYA. They gonna BYA. You know what I'm saying? They gonna beat your, you know what I'm saying? My generation was MLK. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my generation was MLK. So I know exactly what Shorty went through. I know exactly what it was like. He was outnumbered. He was there. He was there. Carmelo it's three generations behind him that would have get rid of racism in that school. He would be the generation that faced high racism in that school because it wasn't enough of them there yet. It wasn't no 30% there. You had somebody come up and says 18%. You're gonna oppress blacks at any school. You're gonna have racial problems until you reach 30% of the population. Facts. 30% they leave y'all alone. When you start talking 18%, 8%, it's bully. You getting bullied. You getting bullied. So when somebody says 18%, you getting bullied. 18%, you getting bullied. 18% cannot stand up against 82%. Period. Just totally shut up talking to me. 82% of non-blacks. There's a lot of non-blacks. And what happens, even if you got Asians and Hispanics there, what happens is they'll, to not be victims of racism, they'll side with the whites and curve us. And then they'll tell the N word insults with the whites to protect themselves. So the Asian and Hispanics in a racist situation, they pretend they white. They say, well, I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? So they play the I'm not black card. They talk like the whites and everything. The reason they don't be liking us, because we don't start talking like them. We don't do that. We still stay black. So that's why we not like the Hispanics, especially the Asians. The Asians real good at throwing away their culture. They be jolly G guy, yeah guy. They're yeah guy and all that. And we don't do all that. So we don't be really accepted. Because we still be whatever, whatever. These is all facts. I'm teaching young people. And then we got that brown skin. So all three of them don't like us because the world is jealous of our natural beauty. I'm just saying, the world is jealous of our athleticism and our whole swag. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. They hate us for something we ain't got nothing to do with. I ain't the reason I'm brown. What the fuck you hate me for? Imagine growing up black and other kids don't like you and you don't know why they don't like you. Just let that sink to your head being a black child. And you grew up and you just a child. It wasn't no blacks on the jury, so it might as well be all white. Those other ones, they're not going to alienate themselves and be on our side. So if it's Asians or some Hispanics or something on the jury, they got a long history of not wanting to alienate. So they're like, we ain't on the black side. So they gonna sell out. Because we got Asians and Hispanics disrespecting us on social media right now. Because when you go to Mexico, the Mexicans don't like the Afro Mexicans. The Afro Mexicans didn't get citizenship until about 7 years ago, before the Afro Mexicans even got citizenship. They got them living. Mexicans is racist against black Hispanics. That's why you only see the white ones. Asians too. That's why you only see the white looking Asians. You don't never see the brown Asians. It's brown Asians. It's brown Hispanic. You don't see them. You only see the white looking ones. They deal with colorism heavy. India too. Look at India. Everybody know it's Indians this color. But what you mostly see over here, you don't never see them black looking Indians. You only see the white looking ones. They got a caste system. The black ones is untouchables. Go study. They don't teach y'all none in school no more, so I know I'm talking. Y'all don't know nothing about the caste system in India and the untouchables, the black ones that's at the bottom. You don't know nothing about that. Mexico, yeah. You don't know nothing about that. Everybody discriminated against the black ones, the dark ones. It is what it is. And especially with them girls like you. When them girls like you, like when I went to Lutheran school, them girls was at me. The only reason I didn't have really no problems because I didn't like the girl. I didn't like the white girls like that because I was more attracted to the black girls. But they was at me though. One girl, she brought me donuts every day. She brought me donuts every. Listen, real talk. I was a freshman, and she worked at Dunkin' Donuts, right? And she brought me donuts every day, and she gave me an address, right? And she lived over there in the real Peel Hill over on Beverly, on right. And she would tell me her parents ain't gonna come to the house. But look how much awareness I had. I knew my black ass could not go over there Peel Hill, seeing that white girl in that white neighborhood. I knew that. I knew that when I was a freshman. I knew. I said, they're not gonna catch me over there because, like I said, my parents we used to have to get up in the morning, and we used to have to leave at like 4 in the morning to go to Alabama to visit our relatives. That way, in the 4 in the evening, we either be in Nashville, Tennessee, or Louisville, Kentucky, and you would see all the blacks pulling in a Holiday Inn, which was the black friendly hotel, and that's where we meet all the other black kids. And then the next morning, you get up early and make it to Alabama. You could not be on the road at sundown. America's got a ruthless racist history still today. That's why people be telling me, do I want to leave Chicago? No, I don't want to leave Chicago. That's got all these black people and black police and black firemen. I don't got to worry about all that. I ain't got to worry about no white police officer tripping in there because the sergeant and lieutenant and them is black. The mayor black. You not you don't you know what I'm saying? He ain't nobody. They just got to be another police. See what I'm saying? He ain't nobody here. Yeah, sundown towns. But I didn't want to come. Me. I don't like the situation, and I feel most sorry for Austin and his mother. I feel sorry for Carmelo too that he was put in that situation. So I don't really have no, you know what I'm saying? I don't really, you know what I'm saying? To me, Austin too little for me to hate on him. You know what I'm saying? He a little boy, like he a little boy. He just a high school boy. He a victim of his racist community. They sent that little boy off, teaching him hate. They should have never taught that boy hate. And that boy gone. No, I'll be outside. We with it. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, death is worse than prison. Where I'm from, they took the big L. You know what I'm saying? They took the big L. The person I feel most sorry for is the mother. The daddy lost his son. The daddy is behind this. This is the daddy fault. Anytime you got boys and they're out of line, it's the daddy. Because the daddy keep the boys in check. And Austin daddy wasn't a good father and lost his son and lost his other son's twin brother because he wasn't no good father. He didn't teach his son how to be a stand-up man, how to respect others. He let his son be an asshole. He knew that boy was an asshole. Come on, man. I got 3 sons. You know your kids. He know that boy was a bully and he thought it was cute. My boys, my boys. And he was letting them do whatever. They was bullying whites too. It's all gonna come out. A lot of white young boys didn't like him because they was overpowering them because there was 2 of them. When you get around bullies that be racist, they be bullies when they ain't racist too. And so, like when I went to a Lutheran school, the white dudes that wanted to be bullies, the other white kids is afraid of them too. So that's why nobody don't tell them to stop. Like I said, I tell this story all the time. I went to school one day. I was at a Lutheran school. The teacher say, "Who want to be a minister?" I was playing around. I said, "Me." My white friend Tom throw his hand up. The teacher say, "Y'all going to camp," but I was just playing. So make a long story short, we end up at camp. The first night they put so many boys in one room, so many boys in the other room. I'm the only black. It's just one black boy, me, and it's all white boys, 8th graders. I'm just one black boy. But I can't be bullied because I'm still gambling and I've been outside and I'm already shooting dice and I already smoke cigarettes, I'm already smoking, and I'm already with all that, and the hands is ugly. You know what I'm saying? The hands gonna knock the white and the supremacy off of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be a white supremacist, but what them hands do? You know what I'm saying? Because I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Bop, 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 bop. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we go to bed the first night. This is a true story. So it's so many boys in one room and so many boys in the other room. And the bully white dude, he started bullying the softest white dude in there, right? I'm teaching y'all about bullying. So he started disrespecting the kid. Now, because he's the bully and he's disrespecting the kid, what all the other kids was doing, y'all, what all the other white dudes was doing, they was laughing with him, right? Because they scared of him too. See, this is how bullying works. Everybody's scared of him. So when he pick a person to victimize, they all gonna go along with it because they like, well, long as you ain't bullying me, right? So they'll work with the bully to bully you because they scared. But I'm still gambling. I'll be outside, woo walk the bell. I'm only here because my mama trying to save me because I'm kind of, So I tell the bully, shut the F up and leave him alone. Woo wop, woo woo. Right? That's why I tell the bully. I tell the bully, shut up. And he shut up. Right? So I started telling hood stories. Yeah, I was out there, and then Harold Vassell came, and then Fat Sam came, right? And then, we had the dice, and then, so I'm in here. You can't make this up. So I'm in here telling hood stories till we go to sleep, right? On everything. Real talk. So I done told a white bully to leave the other white kid alone. Cause I don't do racisms and bullies. I do. We having fun. I don't do that. I don't do racism. And I can't stand bullies. So the next morning we have breakfast. It's our first day there. Because we got there the day before. So it's a camp. And when you go out, it's got like swings, it's got like trails, it got like ponds, it got like bridges, right? So after we had breakfast, they told us go out and explore the campground. So it's on the camp, right? It's on a cabin. And it got the elevated floor and then the stairs on everything. So I walk out and I'm a kid though. So I'm looking, trying to figure which way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go this way and this way. I ain't paying attention because I'm excited. I'm at this camp. I'm finna go run around. They got the tires swings, swing over the stream and all that. So I say, I'm gonna go this way, right? Yeah, it was one of them ministry, right? So y'all on everything. So when I start walking down the steps and walking, I heard a whole bunch of footsteps. When I looked back, all the white boys was following me, the whole place. I was like, when I walked down the stairs, I heard crunch, crunch, croop, 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 croop. I'm like, what the hell? I looked back, it was all behind me. When I went this way, everybody went that way. Nobody went the other way. Because I got the bully off of. I punked the bully. So now they feel like they can have fun. Because I told the bully, shut up before I do you dirty. You know what I'm saying? And the bully shut up too. You know what I'm saying? Boy, this Stu Gambling, boy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good kids. You know, my mama trying to save me so I won't really be all that. You know what I'm saying? I was the leader of the camp. And so, like that evening, the older white dudes who I suspect, but I ain't gonna say nothing, that ran it, these like some older white males, like in their young 20s with all these boys, no girls, Christians. They called me into the office because I left a part out. Because the first night, right, they said, come up to the board and write your sins down. So one by one, the little white boys went and started writing their sins down. They kept encouraging them, kept encouraging them, kept encouraging them. Now I'm sitting to this side. So it got to the point, instead of them looking out after so many people wrote their sins, I could see them kind of looking over to my section, like anybody else, anybody else, anybody else. And I could kind of tell they wanted me to get up there and write my sins down. But I'm thinking, I don't sin, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I don't sin. I'm not finna get up there and write that cornball shit. You know what I'm saying? So after so long, they gave up. Because I was like, I'm Jesus. I don't sin. Boy, I ain't write nothing. I don't even really supposed to be here. I'm just here because I was playing. I didn't really want to be no minister anyway. Boy, I'm not writing shit. You know what I'm saying? The hell wrong with you? As a matter of fact, I got some cigarettes and a couple joints in my sock right now. I'm finna break some rules up here. Okay? All right? I'm definitely not in the name of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the name of reefer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm bad. That's what my mama. You know what I'm saying? I'm bad. I'm bad. That's why I'm here. That's why my mama was glad I signed up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was at the Lutheran school. Why y'all think I was at the Lutheran school? Why she didn't send me to the public school? She wanted to save me. Yeah, she wanted to save me. So my mama took me out to public school and sent me to a Lutheran school where they were supposed to be bullies, but they hands were, you know what I'm saying? They were, you know, if you're gonna be a bully, you need to practice, you need to practice, you know what I'm saying? You can't be no bully, you can't be no bully like you can't bully like that. You don't be a bully, you know what I'm saying? So you can't be no bully. You need to do some bully practice. You know what I'm saying? For you catch it right, left, you toothless. And then you say, God damn, you ruthless. You know what I'm saying? So they trying to save me. So they called me in there. They say, you a leader. You know, the older white dudes, they come and they say, you a leader. Would you consider being a minister and all that? And the same way I was lying about wanting to be a preacher and end up going, I told him, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't lying. Yeah, I'll be a minister. They gave me some paper. Well, you go fill this out. When I said, God, bitch, I ain't no minister. What the hell is you talking about? Listen, I'm up here by default. No, I ain't. No minister. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard from the bully no more. And the rest of the kids had a good time. So I know about bullying. See, now I could have saved Austin life. I could have saved his life if my mom would have took me out there at a certain age. I could have saved him. I could have saved him. I could have chilled them out a little bit because I would have whooped him and Hunter. But the only problem is I wouldn't be in Chicago, so I couldn't call my friends for backup. That's why you don't take your kids, you don't put black kids in racist situations where they outnumbered. I don't know what's wrong with black people where you don't want to admit racism exists. Face it. Okay? If you're just hell bent on taking your children in a situation to be racist, at least put them in karate. Because all he would have, Carmelo had to do was kick one of them one time and everybody would have left him alone. At least put him in karate. At least teach him self defense. But I say, find a nice black area to go. I don't believe, to me, it's torture to send black kids into racist society because white America has a race problem, but nobody want to say it. They have a racism problem. They have like an inferiority complex. Like when you meet white dudes that don't have inferiority complex, they be cool as hell because they cool. They like who they are. But when you meet people that got inferiority complex, they be racist. They be racist. Because what I'm going to just see a white dude just don't like him for because he's just white. That makes sense? That makes sense to see a white person. I don't like you, you white. Y'all like this and stereotype him. He like pick every bad thing a white person did and say, dude, is that? That makes sense? That don't even make no sense. That means you white talk. You probably Hitler and Mussolini. You know, talking crazy. Racism is dumb as hell. You know what I'm saying? But it's only one way to beat racism. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow nobody to be racism. But I'm finna end this. Black people, stop sending your babies places to be victimized by bullies. No matter what school. Go check on your babies and make sure they not being bullied. Because there is bullies, no matter what school they go to. Here in Chicago, you can send your daughter or son to school and they could be a victim of like bullying. Blacks bully different. White bullying is way worse. Black bullying is not that bad because typically other blacks ain't gonna let a black person bully you. Somebody gonna say, "Hey man, leave him alone." But white boys have a tendency to be scared of the bully. All of them. They have a tendency to let one or two dudes tell all of them what to do. I don't know what that's about. I guess it's culture or something. Saying the black community ain't no one or two dudes telling everybody nothing. No, that's not happening. Ain't no two dudes run nothing with black men. I'ma just tell you. And so with black men, you ain't gonna be able to just pick on dude like that, like who you supposed to be. And we have a different culture. We more tribal. We used to try. And so that's not really thing, usually in the black community, like your son to go to school and have a problem with maybe somebody in his class, but he's not gonna have a problem in the school. He might got a boy in the class, but that's easily straightened out because black mamas ain't doing that. Like, and another thing too, make sure you tell your kids if somebody bother you, tell me, don't hide it. This is how children get molested and nobody know. You let this person keep touching you, why you ain't tell me? So this is a sad situation. I didn't want to come over here, pick no side. I didn't want to come over here where, young Carmelo Young, a victim of racism and bullying, and now he gotta go to prison. And then Austin is the bully and he not here. What I would say to the parents, sue the school. Sue the school for millions. You're gonna win. Sue the school. Because if you sue the school and you get a lawyer's gonna pull them files and he's gonna have all of the discretion that if that Austin boy been having problems, it's all gonna be known. There's all gonna be people that testify if they've been bullying and if the school did anything about it. And if the school let them run around and bully and didn't do nothing about it, and you go get the lawsuit and win the lawsuit, they're gonna have to lower his charges and he gonna get out of prison. That's how to get him out. Sue. When you win the lawsuit, that means the trial was bogus. Because you're gonna be able to bring a bunch of evidence at the civil lawsuit that you couldn't bring at the trial. That's gonna get him out quicker. Just like that's what the parents should do. Sue the school. Because the school let them boys from the time they said get out our tent, that's a lawsuit. Because that's not his tent. He's just a student. A student cannot claim nothing from the school. You just a student. So from the time that boy said get out of our tent, that's a violation. Little boy, this not your tent. Go sit your ass down. He's like our tent. That's racism right there. That's racism right there. And I'm a good lawyer, but I can't win the case with no stacked racist a jury. You got to also understand the jury in a place like that, they don't want to be seen to be on the black side because things can go bad for them too. Yeah, if you on that jury out there and you live out there with them and you don't do what that white community wants you to do, you're going to have to move. There's a picture of the daddy with the judge. Look it up. There's a picture of the Metcalf father with the judge smiling in a family picture. Look it up. Out there. Yeah, there's a picture. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. On my soul. Let me see if it. There you go. There you go right there. Hold on. Y'all think I'm lying? Look. There you go right there. There you go right there. Hold on. Y'all think I'm lying? Hold on. Look. Breaking news. This is a leak image of Austin Metcalf father with the judge and DA that are presiding Carmelo Anthony case. Right there. Right there. Retrial. Retrial in the door. Look, retrial in the door. Yeah, the prosecutor too. Retrial in the door. You see it? Retrial. Retrial. Yeah. That's what happened when you move in them towns like that. Crump gonna jump on it anyway. Y'all know Crump finna jump on that. Y'all know all of the black law people finna jump on that. Y'all know how that's finna go. It's stacked against you. It goes back to why would you take your son out there? He's surrounded by enemies. You know what I'm saying? Stop taking your kids in them situations. That's why we be wanting our kids to go to HBCUs. We don't want them to go to predominantly white colleges or universities, but we let them make their own choices. Definitely a retrial and lawsuit. Sue. So you see, the boys was raised under white privilege. That's why he said, get out of our tent, because they think they own the whole city. That's why Austin said, get out of our tent. That's why he said that. A good defense ain't gonna do nothing against a racist stacked jury. It don't matter what kind of defense you got. If the jury is stacked, no matter what you say, they're gonna say guilty. You can't win if the jury is gonna make you guilty. Ain't nothing no lawyer could do. The only way they could beat that is they should have made it have a retrial when they didn't let the three black women on the jury. When they didn't let no black women on the jury, no blacks on the jury, right there, that's racism. Right there. Right in the door. It's right in the door. But then, like I said, people like, well, why you ain't stepping on that? Because I'm not going to come over here and act surprised that America's racist. you know, that's a given. So what you want me to say about that? I'm not going to beat that drum. You supposed to know this already. So if you shocked, then check yourself. Because I know people wonder why are you so calm? I already knew he wasn't. I already knew he's guilty. He guilty. All white jury, white kid, white little town, white little school, guilty. White sheriffs, white police, white district, white everything. What made you think he gonna win? Because I know people wonder why you so calm. Come on, man, y'all know that boy wasn't gonna win. He lost the day his mama sent him to that school. He lost. Sent her baby where he gonna get mistreated. Cause sometimes you adult and you go out here and you all right. But what make you think your kids gonna be all right in an all white place like that? These adults need to be ashamed of themselves. Stop just because you can go and coon and smile your way out of racism. Why would you send your third grader and second grader and eighth grader and high school kids into a racist environment pretending you don't know it's racist? They gonna get a different racism than you gonna get. You an adult, so they gonna give you a more adult type racism, just like women. My daughter's not gonna get the type of police stop my son gonna get. My son gonna get unalived out there, thrown on the ground, all that. My daughter might get a little mistreated, but not like the son. Why would you send your son? You got to understand that the male is dominant. And so if the area is racist, then the white racist male dominates the racism. And then if you're a male, you're the total opposite. The female's not his enemy. His enemy is the opposite male. So now when you're a black man and you go into a racist white dominant male situation, you're gonna get abused, especially if the numbers don't match up. If you ain't got 30%, you out of there. My parents sent me to a Lutheran school in seventh, eighth grade, and it just so happened the percentage was high enough where they really could not do nothing, and blacks lived in the area by the end too. But if they would have, but all my friends that went there since they was in like the second grade, they was all messed up. When I went to the Lutheran school in seventh grade, all of the black boys that been going there since first grade, second grade, they was all feminized. They was all beat down. They had been overran and overrun for so long. And when I come there seventh grade and start stealing on people, they like, oh, you could do that? I'm like, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I started, you know what I'm saying, doing what I was doing, the other black kids was like, you could do that? No. There was no black jurors, not a one. The three black women, they didn't let them get on the jury. It was an all white situation. And they said, well, with some Asians, white, Hispanics, white. They use their light skin color to be good boys and girls. You understand? They're like, well, we know we're not white, but at least we're not black. That's Asians and Hispanics. Not all of them, but just the game they play. You hate them the most. We hate them too. We don't like them too. I can't stand black guys. This is how they play. You just seen we trying to boycott the Asian dude on there talking. You see what I'm saying? It's the game they play. Some people even play the black American game. Black immigrants. A company like, well, I'm not a black American, no. And now you see ICE and all that. They effed around and found out. It's like, bro, you still black. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just talking to my brother the other day about that. He from Senegal. He mad as hell about it. He from Senegal. He said, we never should have came over here. We should have came and been black. We should have. I said, bro, there ain't no need you being mad. He mad as hell. He mad. He said that they didn't come over here. He said they should have came over here and been right with the black Americans. because they deported his cousins and some people, his mother, his auntie, and all. He mad as hell. I kept telling them we not really black. God damn it, he said. I said, well, you gonna mess around and have a stroke. He mad though. He mad. My other friend, Haitian, he came home, they had took his wife. Yeah, they took his wife. Well, he ain't my friend, he's my friend. A friend of mine lived in a building with him. So my friend lived in the front and the Haitians lived in the back, and they came home and the man was crying and they had snatched his wife. Now my friend went don't live there, went back over there, and they all gone. I bet they is. It ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be a Haitian nowhere in Florida, nowhere. We tried to tell the other blacks, hey man, y'all don't know nothing about racism. They ain't listen. They're like, no, you black Americans just lazy. Like, all right, you gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Hold that thought. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm saddened for Carmelo and Austin and Hunter and Austin and Hunter mama. She being dominated by her husband. She probably can't even show her true feelings. You know what I'm saying? I hate it that the young white dude just crashed out like that, has lost his life over some stupid. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And Carmelo, I hated for him too. He was scared. He was in a racist area. They're like, why he bringing a knife to school? He needed on the way to school and at school. What you talking about? Everybody trying to play dumb. He needed a knife en route to back and forth to school. Oh, we stupid now. If I get a knife at home and I end up at school with it, don't I got the knife for the whole trip? Also, when we have a knife, we don't just have it just for defense. We also have it for apples and stuff we buy to cut it. So it's multi-purpose. It's for self-defense, but it's for other things, cutting string and cutting stuff. Boys is always tying stuff and making stuff. Does he need a knife in the black community? No, in the black community, he need a gun. We don't do, I'm saying? In the black community, he don't need a pow pow. You know what I'm saying? But not a black community, because black communities aren't violent. So that's a stereotype. So that I'm glad I put like black communities not violent, right? So like Chicago, black communities not violent in Chicago. If you live in Maple Park, you live in Morgan Park, you live black communities, there are black areas, not black communities. Okay, so that's false. Okay, that's false. It's not the black community. There are areas. There are black areas, but not the black community. I grew up in the black community, 160th and Aberdeen. It was not. There was no problems. That's a stereotype, like they say Chicago. Y'all ever hear them when they say Chicago? That's a false stereotype. I'm in Chicago. How much you're in the ambulances? I've been over here two and a half, two almost two and a half. You heard the ambulance? You heard a police car? I'm in Chicago. Chicago has 77 communities, 77 neighborhoods, more than most of you could comprehend. Because wherever you live could fit here 3 or 4 times. Now, who believes all of these areas where blacks live is violent? Be realistic. And To be honest with you, it's really not a community. It'll be like streets, to be honest with you. So there could be a community, but it's this street right here by the park. Over here is nothing. So technically, it's really not a community. It's a even smaller area. If you want to be precise, there's no whole community that's bad that I know of. I don't know of any black community in Chicago that's bad. You can fit a few cities in Chicago, but usually, if you live in Chicago and you're trying to avoid the violence, it's more a street. It's more certain streets because the community be big, so there'll be a part of the community where there's stores and all that. So it's really not a community like they be saying. That's kind of false. It's usually an area that's much smaller than a community. You know what I'm saying? To be accurate. There's nobody running around Chicago just shooting and stabbing people. That's false. And so I give you an example. Like if you let's say tomorrow you see 9 people got shot in Chicago, right? But yet Chicago is really the size of 3 cities, right? Technically, it's not really like it's 9 because it's so big. That's why Chicago is never in the top 10 murders because uh, statistically we don't have the most murders. St. Louis is ahead of us. Birmingham is ahead of us. Stuff like that. Because it's per capita, right? It's per capita. So if you're the size of 4 cities and you got 4 shootings, that's like 1 shooting per city. It's not like really 4. Because if you're in Chicago, you're on the north side and I'm on the south side, you ain't nowhere by me. You know what I'm saying? You technically, it's way up there. That's a long way. So technically, it's per capita. Technically, it's not correct. You know, technically. I think I got the chart. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the chart. It's you know not really accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like people will tell you. Even the projects is not what as bad as most people would think. Where is it? Uh, I don't know where I put it at, but you get me. You can look it up. Right. So that's count. You know, see, Baltimore, St. Louis number one, Baltimore, New Orleans, Detroit, Memphis, Cleveland. Let's take a break. Right. And so, most of the ambulances you're going to hear is elderly people, burns, cuts, automobile accidents, mostly. Some domestic fighting, somebody. But we're not even on the list. And I don't think this list is no good no more. This 2024 because I think Birmingham is higher now. But Chicago's not on the list at all. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of them, they say the stabbing in the school in Texas was in self defense. Why not this stabbing also? This would not be considered a stabbing situation with that jury and stuff like that. And any way it goes, uh, Carmelo's gonna get. He's gonna get guilty for manslaughter or he's guilty. There's no way of him getting around that. He, I know some black people don't want me to say that, but he's going to be guilty because when he said "touch me and find out," that insinuates if it's four of y'all and I say "touch me and find out," that means I got something to handle it. If I got something to handle it, let's say I got a knife on me, but I just got it to walk back and forth from school and stuff like that, and I get into it with you, and I say, touch me and find out, and I end up poking you with the knife, I pretty much incriminated myself. So Shorty pretty much incriminated herself. So it's basically temporary insanity that they want to charge him with. So to me, it's temporary insanity from bullying. To me, this was clearly from bullying, and he had become an aggressor. See, bullying makes you become the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to school and they said the Ku Klux Klan was coming and we made weapons, we brought all kind of weapons the next day. That's premeditated. So bullying, they don't deal with the mental part. So when the mental part's not dealt with, then you got to deal with the criminal part. At the end of the day, Shorty stabbed and unalived him at the school. He gonna have to do. But he don't need to do nothing but 3 years. He do 18 months and go home. But he gotta do some time. It is what it is. Cause they ain't got no weapon and you do. At the end of the day, all they could have did was punch him and stuff. They couldn't have unalived him. But if he got the knife, he got unalived them. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of black people ain't gonna want to hear this, but I'll be outside. I ain't no internet dude. I'm really that. And so even if it's a situation of three or four of them in a tent like that, they could have only hurt him so bad. They could have all they could have did was punch them up a little bit. They couldn't have really hurt him in there. See what I'm saying? All schools got metal detectors, but they was out in the tent. And it's like Kathy, when you got band or you got sports, the rules be different. You don't even go into the doors in the school that you go into during school. You go the athletic way. The athletes don't have to go through in the school. The athletes go out to the field house and out. You know what I'm saying? He was in the tent. Ain't no gonna be no metal detectors in the tent. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a temporary insanity. But Shorty lose because all they could have did was beat you up or punch you a little bit. They wasn't gonna do too much to him in that tent. They were just gonna punch him and you know, try to maybe humiliate him a little bit. But they couldn't have unalived him, not in there. Unless I'm tripping. So it's like overkill from his point of view. But it's temporary insanity because he done been going home saying, I wish they would. And he was at home. He's like, I wish they would today. So that's why it should be tried from a mental capacity. They do have to take some responsibility because it was bullying. If you constantly bullying somebody, and they get a pistol and come back and shoot you, that's really your fault. You push them, especially a kid. It's going to be much easier to push a kid to cross the line because when the kid don't feel like there's no savior and the kid feel cornered and you constantly trying to humiliate this kid because it was clear they had it out for him. But all them kids in there, why they run up to him? Because the Metcalf boys had been picking on him. And then he didn't have the right parents. Because that situation go like this. My son, he tell me, I go up to the school, I go to the daddy. I tell the daddy, tell his sons to leave my kids alone. The daddy gonna push up. And I'm gonna push up on the daddy. Then I'm gonna make the situation where the daddy gotta think if he really wanna go that far. But I'm gonna be driving my car. The police gonna pull me over and unalive me out there because you in a racist area where they all know each other and you can't win. And black folks need to fix your own community and stay out of those areas where they can stack the whole deck against you. They was not gonna win out there. They had no wins out there. They shouldn't have been out there. I show you, here go the daddy with the DA and the judge. How you gonna win out there? The police, the fire department, everybody's on their side. And they don't want blacks out there. That's they feel like that's their community and they don't want you out there. That's to them, that's their community to them. And they do not want you out there ruining their way of life, sleeping with their daughters, flirting with their wives. Look at them. You can see it on their face that that's their community. They don't want you there. They like, go fix your own. We built this for us. Question is, are they right? They're absolutely right. Go fix your own. Why you keep running behind them people? Like they ISIS cola. When blacks get money, they don't never come and get on the police force and straighten out the community, fix up the community. They run to white areas. Now you some black dude, you live in the suburbs, you're gonna talk tough to me, but you ain't gonna come to Chicago and fix the community, talk tough and clean up these streets in our own community. You're a punk when it comes to your own community. You're a punk. No, they blacks. No, I gotta run. I gotta run those blacks. I gotta run from them. I gotta run. You know, and you run your ass out there to the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, when black men moved in nice neighborhoods, did they let us run them over? Did they let gangs run over the community? They better not come on that block. When I grew up on 116th and Aberdeen and Maple Park, could the gangs come on the block? The first time I seen kids punk grown blacks was in South Central. LA started that shit. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how the young gang members talked to the black homeowner men. I said I never had seen that before. They would have got shot at, man. Man, if they would have been on my block with Mr. Smith, Mr. Hawkins, my daddy, Mr. Stewart, and them, if them little crib dudes would have been out there talking like that, they would have shot them. I'm not pushing violence. I'm telling you the facts. The first time I seen young black men didn't have to respect elders was in LA when I lived down there by Barron Cross. I lived off of Vermont, a couple blocks off of Vermont and Barron Cross. And they had no respect for their elders. They tell the old lady, shut up, get it, go back in the house, old B word and all. I said, oh. That's the first time I seen grown black punks is in LA. I said, hey, grown ass, punk ass black man. Yup. I live right there on Barron Cross and Vermont right there. I was a revolutionary. And so when the brothers started tripping, I went down there with my M1 with the 30 round clip. I ain't trying to push no violence. I'm just telling the story. I came outside with the military clothes. I was like, listen, y'all gangs, y'all not revolutionaries. This is gangs. This is revolutionary. Goddamn we got a fucking gnat and fruit fly invasion all over this whole city. Yep, I had to come out with the M1 with the 30 round clip over there. And this proved my story. So one day I came home and the gang over there, I think they was Crips, was like OG. Well, not OG, they was like Rasta, right? Dude was trying to break in your bathroom window. So I went over to his mother's house, right? I said, your son tried to break in my apartment. I'm like, listen, you need to get your son in line. Because if I catch him, and you know what I told him, I never forget this. It's real sad. So about 2 weeks later, on Sunday, I used to get my bass guitar. I used to listen to the reggae radio station in California. I used to practice and learn the song for golf and sit there and chill our day off. We can't sell no incense on Sunday because ain't nobody downtown. So some type of way I went to my front door and I seen a whole bunch of cars at Shorty Mama house. So I came outside and the young brother was on the porch and I said, what happened? They said he got shot. So he dead, Rasta. And I was like, I felt bad because I felt like in a way I was trying to save him by telling his mama. I told his mama, get your son. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get hurt. So even though he tried to break into my apartment, I can't explain to y'all the feeling when I found out he was gone and seeing his mama crying like that. Cause it's a different type of crying she was doing. Like a like a hysterical, quiet cry. Her whole body, you know what I'm saying? He was gone. 2 weeks later, the same little boy I'd had to tell his mama. And the way I found out he did it, when I came out, somebody tried to break in my crib, so I got the M1 and I went down to the next block. It was a bunch of dudes down there. So, we got our military clothes on, so I went down to the next block with the thing. I told them somebody tried to break in my house. If I had to come back out here, I'm gonna do all y'all. And it was like, no, Rasta, that was dude. I went down there and threatened the whole gang. I threatened that whole gang. I was ready to pop it off right then. But like I said, I was a revolutionary. So I was kind of like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was Fred Hampton. I went down there and threatened them though in the middle of the street though. So if I come back down there, I'm doing everybody. Don't make me come if I come back down here. And they're like, it wasn't us, it was dude. I'm like, oh, okay. I went to his mama's house. Boom, 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 boom. Your son tried to break in my house. You need to get him. Woo, 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 woo. I was not playing though. hmm Because where his house was at, if you cut between there, the leader of the gang was over there, and that was his building. You know what I'm saying? Now, it wasn't his building. His sister had got evicted by my landlord. So we had a beef. The leader of the gang over there, his sister lived in our apartment, and the landlord had threw her out. So one day before this had happened, we sitting there chilling, and somebody beat on the door like boom, 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 boom. And when I went to the door, it was this short dude with like three dudes with him. Well, I'm from Chicago. Like I said, I'm a revolutionary. So when you're in the hood, fear is not good. So I opened up the door. Yeah, so I opened up the door and let him come in. My man around the corner, Malcolm X'd up in the bedroom around the corner, the other thing leaning in the corner right there. I made sure it was sitting right there where they could see it. And then he came in, he was a little short dude. He's like, y'all live here? I'm like, yeah. He said, my sister used to live here. And this B ass landlord threw my sister out, put all her stuff out. But y'all cool though. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see who live here. I'm thinking, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay. I'm thinking, so now you see who here. So we like, yeah, okay, Rastas, y'all cool. You know what I'm saying? Where y'all from? Like, I'm from Chicago. I'm like, I'm like, I'm ready to pop off, right? But then I realized, okay, I calmed down once he told me the story. I'm like, oh, dude did your sister bogus. So I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I dropped my whole energy down. So he's like, yeah, y'all cool. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with that. I got that green out there right there, right between there. So that's who I used to go get my green from. I almost got shot trying to get some green up there though, because you had to go across the street between their house and then up the alley to his apartment. And one day we walking out the alley to the back from the back of the house, but it's three dudes coming to his house to see him, and they at that side door, so they upped on us. And they're like, "Who that?" I guess they had a gang war. And we like, it's Ross. Tell them it's Roster. We came to get some green. They're like, these niggas say they Roster come get some green. And he came out. He looked. He said, "Oh yeah, them Roster, yeah, yeah." And they put them things down. They was finna let us have it. 'Cause I guess it makes sense because we coming up through the alley. Who the hell is this coming up on? You know what I'm saying? They upped on us. He was a cool brother though. You know what I'm saying? Shorty lost his life living that horrible uh, uh, way of life. It made me think about it because these mamas, they don't be raising these kids right in the black community, and that's why parents be trying to get out the black community, and then you end up out the frying pan into the fire because now you end up taking your kids from maybe a black area with gangs and sending them with Nazis and Ku Klux Klan's kids. Know what I'm saying? And if they not strong, don't send your kids into the to no racist situation like that. You got it. I swear to God on everything. If you're a mother and you got a school where it's some black kids that might be a little out of line, or a racist school, you got more control at the black school. The black kids will leave your kid alone. If the mama come up there and you know how to talk to them, they'll leave. They'll leave them alone. The racists ain't gonna leave them alone. You could get something to work out at the black school. The blacks ain't that mean. The gangs ain't like that. They not gonna just bully the kid. They not really tripping unless you in the opposite gang like that. You could get some overstanding with your race, your own race. They'll leave your kid alone. All you gotta do is go up there and talk to them. Say, "Well, my kid come up here, man. Why y'all? Why don't y'all leave him alone? They'll be like, all right, OG, we leave him alone. All right, Pops, we leave him alone. He cool. Man, leave him alone, man. Why y'all keep bothering him like that? You know what I'm saying? And then once they meet the father, they kind of feel one of them gonna take a liking to you, and then they gonna cuff your son, and they be like, man, leave him alone, like that. Somebody gonna be his protector. And then also in the black community, you can find out who their parents is. And in the black community, you can always get through to the mama as long as you don't be stupidly aggressive. As long as you be sweet, the mama gonna ride. You're like, hey, how you doing? She's like, hey, I just want to talk to you. You know, my son go to school. Marvin keep bothering. Could you tell Marvin to leave him alone? Could you do that for me? Marvin, come here. If you come to a sweet, you up there bothering that man, son? Leave him alone. Thanks, baby girl. If you need something, let me know. You too, Marvin. Let me know. Look out for my son up there. Stop bullying them. You gonna look out for him? You be like, I got him. I got him. See, black people, it's a way. But if I go over there, hey, your son, see what I'm saying? Then she gonna be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? If I go up there, your son, messing with my son. See, I can't go like that. I gotta go up there like a neighbor. Hey, what's going on? Hey, oh, I'm so and so. Your son Marvin? Oh, cool. Pleased to meet you. You know my son, they bother him. Could you please tell your son to leave him alone? She gonna do it. She gonna do it. In a black community. In a racist father might say, what's that got to do with me? Maybe it's your son. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. So in that situation, I mean, well, I tell you what, he messed with it again. I'm gonna come slap you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how that's gonna go, daddy. You know what I'm saying? You go FAFO. Listen, don't let me tell you no more, okay? I know you're a KKK, but I'm gonna knock one of your K's off. You just gonna have two K's, okay? And then that's they go, you know, they gonna be like, whatever, buddy, don't come back over here. But then if it's pressure, then daddy gonna be like, you're messing with some little boy up there, leave him alone. Because the pressure, daddy don't want the pressure. You bringing pressure to me. Yeah, listen, daddy, get your little stupid ass son. Hey, boy, you up there messing with my son? Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? My daddy never had to do that. When I went to a white school, I took care of all my own business. Because I went to a white school, but the Lutheran school, the public school got days off when we still be at school. So I just told my homies to come meet me up at the school. So one day we come out of school and there's five dudes at the school. What up, Stu Ganley? Stu Ganley. They, they up here giving you a problem? So who up here giving you a problem, Stu? I look back, all the kids like this. Nah, they all right. You know what I'm saying? They cool. You know what I'm saying? They cool. You know what I mean? Because I had the Goonie Goons come up there, you know? Come up there and just do a little straightening because I don't like violence. I don't like bullying. So I wouldn't have never had them touch them white kids like that. I ain't really into that. I'm a boss. So I don't believe they gotta come up here and touch these white kids. They cool. They gonna do what I tell them anyway, because I got a boss mentality. So my thing is, now I got these white boys, they straight. You know what I mean? Yeah, they straight, ain't y'all? You know, yeah, we straight. Yeah, they cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm the alpha up here. Right? They beta phi betas and all that, you know. They Greek fraternity sororities and fraternities. My shit straight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was skinny, so I had to be crazy. When you skinny and all your friends strong, can jump, can run, everybody got an asset. My asset is I'm the craziest one. You strong, but you got sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like what my daddy used to call rigmarole. So I think these schools need to start doing something about bullying. If these schools, and this is the sign, and I'm gonna let this go. If these schools don't do something about bullying, watch what happens. It's gonna go bad. They can't, not just with racism. They got to get bullying out the school. Period. Because you're gonna bully some white kid. You still white. You're gonna bully the wrong white kid. He gonna come back and do something crazy. Like that need to be automatic in these schools. They need to take bullying way more serious. And listen, I can prove this. It was me and my sister. She was a year younger than me, right? And if my sister did something, what I used to have to do, tell. We was raised, if the other kid do something, tell the adult. So that boy Austin, if he felt like that boy was in there and wasn't supposed to, he was supposed to go tell an adult. That's what he's supposed to do. If I had a law license, I would contact the family and sue right now, and we would win. He was supposed to go tell an authority if he felt that boy wasn't supposed to be in that tent. He was supposed to go to tell a person who tent it was. The fact he said get out of our tent shows an abuse of a power he did not have. Little boy, this is not your tent. That's how you know Austin Metcalf was 1,000,000,000% out of order. Because it's not your tent, little boy. It's never your tent. You're a student. Nothing in here is yours but your sneakers and your clothes and your book bag. The books ain't even yours. The books are property of the Board of Education. Period. So when people talk about he was trying to get him to get out of his tent, it's not his tent. All of this is the Board of Education in that area. None of this is yours. Right there, he was out of line. And right there, that's a lawsuit. Because that bullying and that situation happened at the school, and it caused your son to have to go to prison. And that's I could get 50 mil. That's 50 mil. That's a $50 million lawsuit against that whole school district and that whole area, that whole county. I'm suing the whole school district. And don't let me find out it's a state. Don't let me find out it's state run. I'm suing the whole state of Texas. Oh yeah, I'm suing the whole state. Yep, I'm suing the whole state because they didn't monitor the children. They let the children act like it was there, and it happened on your property. And in the law, if it happened on your property, you're responsible. My son was unalived on your property because you did not have no control of your students. You understand? And everybody know that be outside that the reason he had the knife and the reason he was tripping with them is they been bullying him. Ain't nobody stupid. Them white people know it, everybody know it. For him to be ready to be aggressive with them, man, he was fed up that they had been constantly messing with him. That's a fact. Hey, we not stupid. This was a recurring thing, and Carmelo was fed up. Now, all of a sudden, All these smart white Americans, you so smart, but now you don't know that was obvious, right? That was obviously a recurrent event, and he was fed up, obviously. And that's why I'm saying, if I'm the daddy, his daddy been checked in the dough. Okay? If I'm the daddy. No, he not, because if it's blacks in there, they ain't gonna touch them, especially you. You ain't gonna touch nobody because you make green, yellow face. You a victim because you make yellow faces. So it ain't no masculinity in you. So just because you ain't got no masculinity and they'll do you dirty, you think they'll do everybody like they did you and your daddy and your uncles. Not just because y'all got abused don't mean everybody get ready to get done dirty. Just because y'all, just because you, the men in your family, you know, be putting the Kool-Aid on their lips. That don't mean that's everybody. I just said, don't try to say we ain't your daddy and your uncle and you. We not, y'all. Ain't nothing gonna happen to that boy. That's a national story, and that's gonna be a national penitentiary situation on my soul. Let another penitentiary find out y'all doing him at that penitentiary. See what happens. You don't know nothing about black people. You gonna have to lock them up where it's all white. You ain't gonna be able to lock them up with none of us is in there because we gonna cuff them in the door. You don't know what you're talking about. In Texas, he ain't gonna go. It's gonna be brothers in there. You don't know what you're talking about. The blacks gonna cuff him. Ah, facts. I know if I was in there, I'd cuff him. Don't even look at him crazy. He get a total pass. We ain't even letting none of the brothers mess with him. He been through a lot. Leave Shorty alone. We're gonna take him in the weight room. We're gonna get him swole up. We're gonna bring him right into the penitentiary. Like we ain't gonna bother. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get VIP treatment on everything. We're gonna come through. Ah, y'all come on, stop playing. Y'all know y'all not like that. Save that energy. Take that energy to Iran. Show us what you made of. Go to Iran with that. You know what I'm saying? We trying to see because you got punked everywhere else. I don't know. I don't believe all that. I believe you dominate through machinery, getting better machinery, but I don't believe man to man. I don't believe it. I've never seen man to man like that. I always seen cheat, have the guns and the Indians down, shit like that. It was always some type of mechanism. You know what I'm saying? It was always some type of mechanism. It wasn't never just mano y mano. Not that I ever seen. But people that's picking sides is weak because both of them lost. So I don't really understand the picking sides. They both lost. And the Metcalfs lost the most. So that's why you don't see me gloating like, because, I ain't really want to see that lady lose her son like that. I ain't really cool with Austin losing his life like that. I don't feel like, and it ain't nothing I want to cheerlead on. I'm not going to be talking about this because it's a L and a L. And the white dude caused the L. The whites caused the L. The racist whites at the school, that racist white administration, and all the kids that pushed up with Austin, all of them ones that walked up with him is responsible too. None of them told him, nah, man, leave him alone. If I'm with my boy and my boy want to go bother somebody and I go with him like, yeah, and my boy lose his life, I'm just as responsible. If there was four people went with Austin, the other three is responsible. And so is Hunter. Hunter is responsible because he never told his brother stop bullying. And the daddy is the most responsible because he raised some bullies. So bullies is usually punks. So the daddy raised two punks that was tough because they could outnumber and all that. And then lost his wife's baby because that's going to be a divorce. He lost his wife. His wife, from when the smoke settled, his wife gone. Mr. Metcalf gonna get a divorce. He gonna get divorced. Yeah, that's over. She lost her son. The brothers was twins, so they gonna do the same thing. The daddy ain't no. The daddy knew them boys was bullies. The daddy's a bully. I showed you the picture. He with the DA. He with the police. That's bully behavior. You with the authorities so you can do what you want to do. It's a whole bully culture. That's what racism is. It's bullying. It's bullying. It's a dominance picking on the less, the minority. Punk stuff. All racism was punk. It was based off of over having more power, more population, and taking the weak and abusing them. The whole way America was built on punkism, bullying. Slavery was bullying. You know what I'm saying? It's bullying. And then when you get around a mano a mano, then it ain't then they cop it please. Like I said, I went to a Lutheran school. I ain't see all that. I'm saying we used to go to concerts like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, three, four black dudes, thousands of whites. Didn't nobody say nothing. Nobody said a word because we was like, we don't care how many here. We just gonna deal with the one tripping. So who gonna trip? Nobody gonna trip because nobody want to be the first contestant on The Price is Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm swear to God. I used to go to all. I seen everybody. Nobody. One time we got called an N word. It was a white dude. He was ran. He was running. He ran past us N word and ran. We jumped up. Four of us. It's all white. I think we was that was Santana, Carlos Santana, and who else was Santana at White Sox Park? I think Jeff Beck. I'm not sure though. One cow, he was running fast as he can. He hollered the N word. By the time we stood up, he was way down now. And all the crowd was all like all white. They weren't gonna do nothing. What they were gonna do? Nothing. And so I never adapted reverse racism. I don't like white people stuff. That's too corny for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't do racism. No, it's corny. Oh, Shorty got 35 years. Oh, he got 35 years. He got 30. Oh, that's cool. He gonna go get out there. He ain't gonna do no 35 years. Shorty be out soon. Shorty ain't gonna do no 35 years, man. Long as he didn't get life, he good. He not gonna man. Shorty ain't gonna do no 35 years. I'll come back and talk about that though. He ain't gonna do no 35 years, man. He ain't gonna do no 35 years. He gonna make it and he gonna be straight. He a superstar. Everybody gonna touch Shorty. I'll come back and talk about it though. 35 years, that's good. I don't mean nothing about no state of Texas. State of Texas full of black prisons. I don't mean that. Shorty be out in about 7 years. Shorty be out about 7 years. He be out. Maybe even 5. Shorty be out about 7 years, maybe 5. If he don't get a retrial. Shorty liable to get a retrial. But I mean, come on, man. He wasn't supposed to poke nobody. He wasn't supposed to poke nobody. Shorty ain't gonna do that much time. Too high profile. I keep telling y'all the rules be changing. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, he shouldn't have poked dude. What do you want me to say? He wasn't supposed to listen. He poked dude. Okay, bye. You going to prison. You poked him. You going to prison. You ain't have to poke him, bro. Your life was not in danger. You know what I'm saying? His life was not in danger in that tent, man, with all them people. Okay? That's why I say Shorty probably got a temporary insanity case. Okay, he ain't have to poke dude. He ain't have to poke him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I'm black and I'm supposed to You know what I'm saying? I mean, even no matter what the situation, when the confrontation came, he didn't have to poke dude, right? There was not nothing seriously there was not nothing seriously would have happened to him under them circumstances. It's just too many people, too much going on. He might have got beat up a little bit, but he would have been all right. He wouldn't have got beat up too bad. He had just with temporary sanity, they've been playing with him too much, scaring him too much. You know what I'm saying? They was playing with him, scared with him too much. But he not to poke dude like that. They wasn't gonna they wasn't gonna do nothing but kid bullying and stuff. And a lot of times Now he need now you're at school, you get into a squabble with some dudes. It's you get into a fight. It's some dudes they bullying you. The bully then pushed them too much to give them temporary insanity. So it's not even a normal case. It's somebody not in their right mind being bullied by somebody else that's not in their right mind. Because you should have known if you keep scaring them and you keep scaring them and you scare him too much, he gonna overdo it. So you got some kids. The dude that got unalive, he wasn't realizing how much he was scaring the dude. He was trying to scare him and punk him, but he didn't know he scared him that much. He didn't know that he made him that mad. He had no idea. Now he not gonna go get no pepper gel because when he get the knife, he not really believing he finna use it. He don't believe he finna use it. It's kind of like you grab a knife, yeah, keep playing with me, but you ain't really. He not really thinking he gonna use it, and he don't got the knife for dude. He got the knife for all them white races out there that might, because he really could get jumped walking home and hurt for real. So they can't prove why he had the knife, because he might have had the knife to get home safely in a racist ass little area. So they jumping to conclusions on why he even had the knife. See what I'm saying? That's a jump conclusion. Because he might have just had the knife in case of some serious danger. You see what I'm saying? So they jump to the conclusion on why he even had the knife. But my best bet he had the knife because the area is racist and he in danger period around there with them. That dude ain't the only racist around there. See what I'm saying? And he been having that knife on him. And they can't prove he only bought it that day either. They can't prove how long he been carrying that knife. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come back and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get in Cracker Jack. You know what I'm saying? I can't say he shouldn't have did it because I don't know his mental mind state. He might have just had a mental breakdown. He just probably couldn't take the amount of racism. We don't know how much racism he was dealing with. Was that the only racist he was dealing with? Hell no, not at them racist white schools. That wasn't the only racist he was dealing with. He was dealing with a lot of racists up in that school. Because once one dude be racist with you, all the little clan do it too. I know, I went to a Lutheran school. You know what I'm saying? I went to a Lutheran school and I had to go in a white neighborhood to walk around and stuff like that. He definitely, you say he shouldn't be doing time at all. You poke somebody and they died. Yeah, you doing time. It ain't no way you're gonna be able to justify poking dude. You know, he not. You got a bruised nose and bruised eye. That ain't gonna justify you to poke nobody. In other words, you're gonna do it, but in terms of the law, see, because some people that say, yeah, you do got a right, but they talking in their mind. I'm talking in terms of the law. No, not in the law. You don't. You have to be in mortal danger to use that lethal force. You gotta have a good reason to use lethal force. Now I know in terms of what should have whatever, I was a criminal. So you know what I'm saying? So like if he when he go to prison, the criminals is not gonna say what y'all saying. The criminals gonna give it to him straight. Ain't no and crime ain't no shoulda be. It's like this, and this. Period. Now, if you want to argue to change that, that's one thing. But once you do the crime, you can't argue to change the results. The results is already set in stone. You do this, you get this. Period. Even if you're getting jumped, it depends. If you're getting actually jumped, then you could use lethal force because now you could say you wasn't sure it was lethal force. You was just trying to get them off of you. But if I go to a track meet and you mess with me and I pull out a pistol and pop you, first off, what the hell was you doing with the pistol? In the real world, that's how they going. What is you doing up here with a pistol? So right there, I'm finna take an L. I mean, in the real world, I'm finna take an L for even having the pistol. So they're gonna be like, okay, you was a problem anyway. Why you got a pistol, Pharaoh? See what I'm saying? So they like, why you up here with a knife? That's his problem in the law, in legal law, from a criminal's point of view. In the real world, not in the supposed to be world. No, jail and prison is cut and dry. Ah, ah. They brought me to court. They said I was looking at 8 to 40. Was I supposed to get 8 to 40? No. Whose fault is it? I didn't know what I was doing, carry 8 to 40. My fault. When he go to prison, the prison's going to tell him, that carry this carry that carry that. We some civilians, we don't know what the crime carry, but the prisoners know. He not a prisoner. So he didn't know that's 8 to 40 or the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Kyle don't count because Kyle is in Minnesota. So what you do in Chicago don't count what you do in Indiana. See, Asiatic? That's why I have to come over here to tell them how it really go. Well, it don't matter what another state. Okay, that don't count. Back when ganja was illegal, if it was legal here and illegal there, if you got caught here, you was fine. If you got caught there, you go into jail. You can't say, but it's legal over there. Well, it ain't legal where you got caught at. I'm trying not to do the black thing about no criminal case. So I'm not trying to mix in stand up for the black dude. I'm not trying to really mix that in there. I could, but I'm not trying to mix that in there. I'm not really looking at this as a black man. I'm looking at this as somebody that been in jail a lot and in court that never went to prison. So I'm thinking I'm kind of like an expert. I'm a superstar in Chicago because ain't nobody been to jail as much as me. and didn't snitch or didn't go to prison. Anybody else that did as much as me either snitched or went to prison. So I'm like a really expert at not going to prison. And being around a bunch of people in jail and being around a bunch of people that got shipped out to county jail to prison or is in there for parole violations or is in trouble again after being in prison so many times. I'm just saying. Because I know somebody, every time we made an album, he went to prison. He get out of prison, we make an album, he go to prison. He get out of prison, make another album, he go to prison. He get out of prison, make another album, he go to prison. I met him in the Cook County jail. I ain't never been to prison. That's why I'm a legend. I'm a legend for not going to prison. You ain't listening. You ain't listening. I don't know. I'm 40 something. And uh, he, somewhere in his 20s, I think. Because I'm the CEO of the record label, so we ain't on the same level. Uh, yeah. It could be a lot of reasons he did that. He could have been scared. Yeah, going to prison ain't it. You're right. The flex is selling all that stuff I sold, getting caught with all them pew pews I got caught with, and walking without snitching and not getting touched in them jails. I'm saying, and being a boss up in there, and being a boss up in there too, being easy to get along with. See what I'm saying? Being easy to get along with all the brothers, so there ain't no hostilities between me and the inmates. See what I'm saying? Because I'm not aggressive. I'm not a goofy. I don't be saying goofy stuff. I don't be stepping on people's toes like some people be getting in the chat. You would never make it in jail because you be saying the wrong stuff and you set somebody off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. That's something that nobody would never try to prove to you. You know what I'm saying? So just saying that is just goofy because it's not like I'm gonna say yeah or none of that, right? It's not like I'm gonna say none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? You know, think about it like this. Think about it like this. Think about it like this. What would I be if I bragged about doing illegal stuff? You don't think that would be lame? Like I'm being straight up. That wouldn't be lame to you if I came over here and bragged about like crimes? Because you act like that would be cool. That would be to you. That would be cool. Or you just trolling like a little girl on the internet? Because some people say you on the internet doing something that you won't do in real life. That's what most people would say. Most people would say you phony that in front of me, you quiet and you talk about me out. Some people would say you a cop, please around me. That's what some people would say. Some people would say you would cop the please. No, that wasn't a legitimate question. That was a weirdo question. That wasn't no question. You say you probably didn't do nothing illegal. That's not a question. So now we also dealing with comprehension skills, right? Because I think you said it was a legitimate question. So you slow. That's why you got a cartoon character. Because you believe saying you probably didn't do nothing illegal is a question. So like there is some educational problems going on with you. You don't even know what you said. You so busy being a bozo, you just all over the place. So that's why when you be busy trying to be a clown, and then you don't even be down, and then you start saying stuff that don't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you trying to be a bozo instead of being a grown man. Act like a grown man, man, and be respectful. Don't be over here be no goofy toofy. You know what I'm saying? Step your game up, man. You know what I'm saying? You too old. You know what I'm saying for that. And you know you already you're not even built like that. Cause real hardcore, they not trolling on the internet with no cartoons. So I already know you kind of soft and squishy like toilet paper. I already know. You know what I'm saying? That we'll run your commissary. I already know. You'll give up all them chips and stuff when you come back from commissary. I'm just saying. I already know. You know, all your snacks will be in our tip. You know what I'm saying? I already know. We'll confiscate your goodies. Just by how you function, I already know. You go you gonna bow down. I can tell you ain't no G like that. You ain't no real strong dude doing weirdo comments and look at these strong brothers. Look at this brother. You'll never see this brother say no goofy stuff. You'll never see him talking just all weird old goofy stuff. He really about that life. He not gonna embarrass himself like that, like that. We don't be doing that kind of stuff, bro. We be respectful. Let me tell you something. The real hardcore brothers and sisters are the most respectful people you ever want to meet. It's a fact. They don't do disrespect. They don't do stupid jokes. They take life very serious. They don't troll. They're not the baddest person in the world because we ain't got no eyes in the back of our head and we make it through collaborations. We can't whoop everybody in the penitentiary. We know that. Our only thing we stand on is we're going to try to defend ourselves. That's all we stand on, defending ourselves. We ain't finna tolerate nobody doing nothing to us. And you're going to have to bring yours to get ours. That's all we be on. But we don't be on, I don't be on disrespect with no brothers over here. When I meet a brother, I want it to really be pleasant. I want a brother to be like, man, you was disrespecting me. No, I don't do that. I ain't never disrespect nobody over here that wasn't a bozo loser. If you was a loser talking crazy, I disrespected you. You ain't gonna do shit anyway. You gonna start copping, please. You ain't no gangster because the gangsters don't do that. You not that. You not will. So that's why I talk to you crazy because you're not ready to show me you's a custer or a buster, depending on if you got on blue or red. I just saying, nobody don't do that. Any real hardcore people that tell you they could tell your pedigree, and especially when you on social media with a fake picture and stuff, and you be trying to disrespect people. Everybody know you's a punk. You trying to throw rocks and hide your hand. Everybody know you's a punk. when you got a weirdo picture, you try to talk crazy. You know, nobody don't know who you is. The hell, trying to draw me out to argue with a cartoon, bro. Bro, I'm not finna. You a cartoon? Your picture's a cartoon. You want me? What you want me to do, bro? I can't win with a cartoon. I can't beat no cartoon, bro. And I don't do violence. Like I don't do violence. I don't do tough. I do not do tough. I don't do tough. I am not tough. I don't do tough. I do have a good time. I don't do no tough shit. I don't do tough. I like to have a good time, discussion, chill, stuff like that. I don't do tough. I can't stand tough. I can't stand like aggressive. I can't stand that type of stuff. It always messes up when we try to chill. I don't like that. Why you think I could be around them brothers and make music and be in the studio with dudes all night? We're not crossing lines, professional line crosser. You know, you go to prison, you go to these county jails and stuff. You don't want to be no punk, but you definitely don't want to be no irritant. But I'm gonna end this because I think I gotta come back now and talk about how much time he got. I'm gonna chop this up. The whole thing will be on my Patreon sometime this week. And don't y'all get y'all emotions into it too much. And try to avoid the racial overtones the best you can. And if you want to help Shorty, try to find out who you could write, how you could write him in prison, how you can send him stuff like that. And just try to keep up with the case to see if we can get him some type of deal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Me, you know, Austin lost his life, so I'm a realist, and it's like Austin took the L. Carmelo didn't take the L. Not in the real world. In the real world, the Metcalf family took the L. I'm just saying. The Metcalf family took the L. They lost. Straight up. All right, I'm gonna come back. We gotta end racism though.